these miserable years. Yes! Yes! Okay, we can cut there.
I'm Owen.
I'm not Owen.
And we're here to talk about Shrek.
And we have a special guest star. Cesar!
You didn't tell me we were doing that in unison.
We are
Movies in retrospect.
Yes.
We gotta come up with better cues.
Yeah.
Shrek is a widely beloved children's film.
I love it.
Adam loves it.
He also loves it.
Love is a strong word.
Now, I do not love the film. I don't even really like the film. And when in the course of human events, such a beloved children's film is derided as having a detrimental effect on our children, it is incumbent upon the accusatory party, namely myself, to elucidate and make clear my reasons for disliking such an iconic children's animated film.
There's a special charm to it. There's a special elegance to the film. For the time, the way it was made, it still holds a special place in many hearts, and I think that is well earned. I think the impact that it has had on the 3D animation community cannot be understated. It's inspired many horrible, horrible films. The idea of the whole twist of fairy tales has inspired Hoodwinked. That clap.
I kind of liked it.
I thought that movie was good.
Well, Hoodwink is not a horrible film. It is not quite on the level that Shrek is.
I did not see Shrek until I was 16 years old. I had never seen the film until my later teenage years. So my eyes are not tainted by nostalgia. I did not grow up with this movie. It was not in my childhood library. So I saw it with objective eyes. I have no rosy memories of it.
Good movie.
Do you have anything to say off of that?
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think the first thing we gotta mention is the wonderfully crafted score.
That is literally the first thing I have on here. John Powell, expert composer. If you look at How to Train Your Dragon, like how that lost the Oscar to The Social Network, I'll never know. Because I've listened to The Social Network soundtrack, and I haven't seen the movie, but I've listened to the soundtrack, and how you can compare that to How to Train Your Dragon. Since the score is the first thing you're greeted with in this film, with the admittedly, amusing storybook opening and spoof of the Disney style, the score with the track Fairy Tale kicks in. It became DreamWorks' theme after that film, and it is a great theme. And throughout, the music is very good.
The songs often suit the scene. For example, the scene where Shrek is beating up all those soldiers at Duloc. And a song about reputation. It showcases how he feels. It definitely reflects the mood of the film. They don't just randomly throw in pop songs like some movies do nowadays. Illumination.
Mm-hmm.
And the songs have meaning, and then the score is just pleasant to the ears.
Sound crafting, the soundtrack, both the score and sampled songs, they do fit it. With All Star at the beginning. It's a fun song. I don't know if it really fit the Reputation during the wrestling scene in Duloc, it matched it because Shrek doesn't give a darn about his reputation. Though you could argue he does. He's trying to be the big scary ogre. This is the part where you run away. He's trying to keep people away from him because he's the ogre.
His whole thing is about self-identity and about him, like, his whole identity as a scary ogre, right? That whole reputation. And he's trying to tell himself, I don't care about the world. He's in that scene, in the scene where he's beating up all of them. He's like, I don't care about how they feel about me, right? He's lying to himself. He does care. He has layers. He does care, and he's lying to himself. And so that song reflects the lies that he's telling himself. It reflects the lies about how he feels about his reputation.
And then in the end, we have I'm a Believer, originally by the Monkees, and then covered by Smash Mouth and Eddie Murphy.
I would consider it butchered by Smash Mouth.
Butcher. Well, that is just,
okay. I like Smash Mouth's version. It's
butchered is a strong word.
But I'm a Believer. It makes perfect sense.
Oh, for sure.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
The fact that that song wasn't made specifically for Shrek is weird because it feels like they're intertwined with each other.
Smash Mouth starts with S. Shrek starts with S.
Plus,
Mouth starts with an M. DreamWorks has an M in it too.
Plus, if you think about it, Shrek, he smashes things and he has a mouth. I mean,
shall we go on to the casting?
Okay. Yes, the casting.
So first off, Mike Myers, Shrek. He does a fantastic job. His Scottish accent is truly what dreams are made of.
It does work well with Shrek.
Yes.
He goes all out, and I think it's rewarding because he creates a very recognizable and iconic character.
if I may intervene here, I would like to say that Eddie Murphy also did a really good job.
Eddie Murphy, I think, is the highlight of the film.
He might be my favorite part of the movie.
Eddie Murphy said that Shrek was his best work.
Yeah, I feel like...
I mean, when you compare it to, like, Haunted Mansion and, like...
You can't deny it.
Fiona.
Fiona.
Is that the ship name of Felonious and Fiona?
I kind of... It's way better than the donkey and dragon relationship.
Note number 17. Donkey-dragon relationship exclusively comedic. There is no heart to it. It is meant purely for comedy. It is toxic.
The only really...
I have to agree that it begins toxic. And I have to agree that it begins comedic. But I think through the movies...
Oh, okay. Let's focus on Shrek 1 right now.
I don't like interspecies relationships. There, I said it. The donkey and dragon... It's implying that donkey likes big women, which is just weird.
How are we supposed to show this to them?
And wait, how is the problem that he's into big women and not into a different species?
I feel like what you're supposing with this interspecies hate is fairy tale segregation.
Yes, I don't have a problem with Donkey liking bigger women. I have a problem with the bigger woman he likes not being a donkey. Let's go to the start, okay? Donkey meets Dragon. Dragon threatens Donkey. Donkey tries flattering Dragon. Discovers Dragon is female. Flatters Dragon more. Insincerely, I add. He's trying to escape death.
Is it better to lie than to hurt? Like, is it better to lie kindly than to hurt?
The insincere flattery that causes Dragon to become infatuated with Donkey.
Yes.
So, Dragon is now infatuated with Donkey, and she is trying to assault him, essentially.
Can I?
Those jokes about consent and physical relationships and old-fashioned whatever, I found those to be out of place in a children's movie.
Which proves, I think, even the creators of the relationship knew that Shrek and Donkey had a toxic relationship.
Shrek and Donkey.
Whoa!
We're talking Donkey
and Dragon.
And Dragon.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, world. Fast forward later, and Donkey and Shrek part ways, and Donkey finds Dragon sad and whatever.
Yeah, by the river.
By the river,
It's
and
supposed to be the sweet.
so yeah, it's supposed to be a sweet moment, but just remember that this is the dragon lady that he lied about liking, lied about admiring, chained her up after she made unwanted advances on him.
Wait.
Abandoned.
If it's a lie, then why did they get married?
Because the writers, like the Disney, even though this whole thing is supposed to be a send up of, it's supposed to be like a mockery to Disney, they fell for the Disney trope of true love. Donkey finds Dragon, and then she still decides she wants to be with him. But let's look at the final act. How do they interact? What is their relationship? Donkey whistles to summon her so she can give him a ride places.
Like a horse.
And then treats her like a beast of burden when he is literally a donkey. So we're agreed that at the end of the first movie, yes, Donkey and Dragon's relationship is still deeply flawed.
Yeah,
and that Donkey.
But is that a critique on the film or a critique on society?
The film.
I'm gonna go with the film because the lens it puts it under is we're supposed to cheer for Donkey and Dragon.
Yeah, it's not.
We're supposed to be impressed with this, or we're just supposed to be impressed with Donkey and not care about Dragon because she can't talk, so she's just an animal. Donkey can talk, so he's a character.
Can we all say it at the same time?
Wait, what are we saying?
3, 2, 1.
Good animation for the time.
Good animation for the times. All right.
Well, I don't have much to say on this. I think it was great animation for its time.
Yes. As far as the first 3D film of the studio, well, no. DreamWorks did Ants.
But Ants was such a gosh awful film.
Yeah, and then they moved into excellent 2D animation films, such as Prince of Egypt, such as Road to El Dorado.
Such a very good movie.
And then, we get Shrek.
Hallelujah.
Funny fact, which people probably already know, but people who are working on the Prince of Egypt, but what did they had to do something bad or something, right?
If they weren't meeting deadlines or something
weren't
like
meeting
that.
deadlines. They were moved to work on Shrek, and was it known as Getting Shrek?
Getting Shrek.
Funny fairy tale gags and overall humor of the movie. I think the fairy tale gags are really great. There is some jokes in the movie which I like, but some of them are just kind of weird.
I think the film is
a risk
really, really funny. I think the jokes most of them land. Yes, there are some awkward scenes with Farquaad, and specifically that one.
Beyond.
So far, I've been talking about a lot of the things I like about this movie.
Because what is there not to like?
Thus far, I have praised much of the voice acting. I've praised the camera work, action scenes. There are some good jokes. So the cinematography, the animation, especially for the time, is good, but it holds up even now.
Fantastic.
So, why do I not like this film?
Yes. Why do you? What is your deep hatred?
Let's think about the target demographic.
Yes.
What is the target demographic of this film?
I would say 10 plus.
How old were you when you saw it?
2. I would say it's 10 plus.
How many times have you seen it by the time you were 10?
Like 20.
Up to now, these days there are a lot of adult animated things out there.
Yep.
You have tons of adult animated shows. You've got your Family Guy, you've got your South Park, and you've got your Rick and Morty, and it seems like every month Fox is coming out with a new adult animated show. adult animation is getting more mainstream than back in the day. It was very niche indie adult animation stuff. It wasn't like the popular kind of stuff. These days it's popular. So in 2001, when Shrek comes out, animated stuff is still pretty much considered kids material.
Animation is an art form, and I don't think an art form can belong to one group of people.
And that's accurate.
That's
but let's look at the societal mindset in 2001.
Yeah.
Mainstream animation, so something outside of Richard Linklater or whoever else is doing this, mainstream animated stuff is considered children's material.
Yes.
And that
the
was
fact
the
that the
wrong
movie
mindset.
was no, but the fact that the movie was PG.
Tell me this: was it bad enough to be PG-13?
No, but it's
It
the
was
thing.
not.
It's not also good enough. I don't know if that's a word, but it's not a kid's.
There is no in between PG and PG-13.
Maybe there should be.
Yeah.
Call it the Shrek rating because
Exactly.
maybe it didn't warrant a PG-13 rating, but there were multiple cases in which I was kind of shocked. Even the
When you
even the mild swearing, there were just situations in which I was wondering, why is this what parents are bringing their 8-year-olds to? Maybe some of the innuendos go over their head, but as they grow older, it starts to land, and maybe it lands at an age when they aren't ready for it yet. Maybe once you're more mature, you can chuckle at some of the innuendos. There are some I can't even chuckle at; they just bother me. But there are some that are kind of funny.
Question: if you can get those jokes, if they can already get those, then haven't they already been desensitized to that? Haven't they already been exposed to that?
Why is that a good thing to feed?
I'm not saying that it's feeding it. Well, I'm not saying that it's a good thing. What I'm saying is, if they can already get the jokes from Shrek, then they've already learned about that and they've already heard about
But
that.
it's still
So
not,
how's that Shrek's
It's still
fault?
not good to feed that.
I think it makes light of some awkwardness.
Okay.
Joel.
Okay. Relationship between Shrek and Fiona and overall characterization of the characters. Very good. I think their relationship is realistic. I think it's kind of cute. I'm just saying. Characterization, I like the overall growth of Shrek. I think we already talked about this a little bit, but I'll just go over it briefly again. Shrek obviously casts the world out. He wants to be alone, but then he meets Donkey, who very much also does not care. Shrek pretends to not care. Donkey literally doesn't care. His relationship with Shrek, I think their dynamic is great. Obviously, with having Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy as voice actors, their dynamic is boosted up. But yeah, I think their friendship is great, and overall, just all the characters, including Farquaad. Farquaad is built up to be this biggest jerko of the 7 seas. He's literally the worst. And that's why it makes it all the more satisfying that he got eaten by the dragon. Exposition was pretty decent, at the beginning of the movie. So
I think story structure wise, it's very solid.
And last but not least, iconic lines. It has ogres are like onions. Come on, iconic. A lot of the lines.
What are you doing in my swamp?
What are you doing in my swamp? I think it's very meme worthy.
Okay, yeah. So
That was it.
it has quality, but I think I was too turned off by the
Demographic.
by the crassness and what they pitched to all audiences, because children are molded by the entertainment they consume.
Correct.
So, if you grow up on Shrek, I feel like you are going to latch on to things. And of course, if you're raised right by your parents as well, then we can avoid unsavory
Cringe.
character growth. But I think the good messages in the film are watered down by the material that I found objectionable.
And that's something that I can both respect and I can't fully disagree with as well. And I will say, this reminds me, I'm kind of go on a rant here, but it reminds me of an issue with the animation industry as a whole right now, and back then too, because animation was new. People see cartoon like nowadays and back in the day, animation it's not taken as seriously. Like they don't really see it for molding the next generation. As I mean, obviously, there's a lot of influences on children, but a big one is animated movies and things like Shrek and things like the Minions. Minions, that movie bothers me. I'm gonna go on a slight rant here. Minions bothers me because it doesn't have very good moral messages. It doesn't have bad messages, but it's just boring. It's like Gulag Swill. It has no flavor. It's got no substance to it. It doesn't teach your kid anything except to go like around the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, and that's the thing too. Not every movie has to be this master class in like morals. Like, oh, my kid knows all these moral issues now because of these movies, but they need to at least try, with some things like Teen Titans to Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans had a lot of good moral, themes to it. It kind of fought discrimination in some points, and there's a lot of that's just one example. There's a lot of things in that show that are good. Now, Teen Titans Go, I think it's funny at some points, but it's just not. You just can't say it's as good as the original Teen Titans for that reason. Like, it's not teaching your kids anything except to make frankly dumb jokes.
Yeah, so I agree. The bottom line is not every movie or piece of entertainment has to have a heavy-handed moral message, but it shouldn't leave bad influences.
Exactly.
Well, first off, get a second guest star, Luke. Second guest star, Luke.
Luke. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't. You're like.
I was trying to get you guys. Okay.
That it is directed for a 10 and plus audience. I do agree with that. They did have a lot of weird jokes.
There was not much swearing. I acknowledge that but there was more than I would expect.
Shrek
in such a film.
You gotta understand, Shrek is an ogre, right? Ogres are gross. Let me explain. So, I think, in my opinion, majority of the fart jokes in this film are justified just due to the fact that Shrek is an ogre. Do you expect him to have good posture? Do you expect him to do good things? To, like, wash his hands? No, he's an ogre. He does gross things.
All right.
Fart jokes have to belong in the film.
All right.
That's what an ogre would actually do.
Okay.
I believe that a grown ogre, if he could talk, he would swear too. An ogre who just doesn't have a potty mouth doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
To be fair, to be frank.
I see your point. I would still argue that the subject matter did not require it, and it was a bit of a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
That, my friend, is a difference of opinion.
That is true.
That is something that both of us can come to our own conclusions at, and does not need to follow objective standards.
Shrek, I wouldn't say is the best movie. I would say that there are way better movies. I wouldn't say it's like down there, but I wouldn't say it's up there. I'm sorry to say. It's not the best movie, but it's not awful. It could have done much better than it was. Oh, honestly, some of it was just quite boring for an 11-year-old to watch this. I think that it would be alright. I don't think they would quite enjoy it. I think they would just find it like one of those movies where, okay, you've seen it, you want to get it over with. I'll watch it again with the family, sure, if someone wants to watch it, but I'm not going to say, hey, we should go watch Shrek. I'm not going to say that,
Here are my final comments. But before I do that, I want to bring something out for everyone.
Oh, wait, can I get it?
No, I got you.
Don't
worry. You guys.
Oh, that's from Graham.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My bench was the 3D printed animation.
Look.
Shrek's.
Look. This is a statue of a donkey. Anyway, shall we go on?
Wait.
It was amusing. There was great characters. There was a great story. The relationship between Shrek and Donkey is their brotherly relationship. Them helping each other grow as characters, as people, or as Ogre and Donkey, as you could say. I think it was very good. the story about Shrek is layers and how he thinks he has to be this ugly ogre. He thinks that's the only thing he can be. He's not supposed to feel love. That's just what he's just supposed to be, this ugly ogre that's hated by everyone. And then there's this frame in the movie of Donkey and Shrek staring at the moon. And that, my friends, is one of the greatest frames, still frames, of cinema history. That is what animation was created for.
In my opinion, this movie has more heart than humor. I think the emotional beats hit harder than pretty much any of the jokes in it.
And honestly, I have to agree with that.
And so I was not impressed with much of the humor. There are a few jokes few jokes I thought were funny. And I think there are a few of the emotional beats and morals that do land.
I like the movie. I like mostly its moral messages and its emotional beats. Its humor is good, but not. It's not. Shrek 2 outshines it for sure. But I think the movie is bogged down by the fact that it doesn't really know what its audience is and who it's trying to be for. But overall, I did enjoy the movie.
We figure this out.
Are we boring you?
Yes. Anyway.
What's your score?
I think a solid 7.5 out of 10 onions.
I'm be honest, it's in between 6.5 to 7.
6.8 out of 10 onions.
10 onions.
Alright.
Owen, go.
The first time I've seen this movie twice in my life. The first time I watched it, I was 16 years old, and I ranked it 2 out of 10 stars.
Yes.
Today, upon my rewatch, upon our discussion, I am giving it 4.2 out of 10 onions.
Ooh. Okay.
That's pretty good for Owen's rating.
It doubled. It more than doubled.
It is?
8 onions.
8 onions.
Alright.
We have been
Films in Retrospect.
Go find it on my shirt.